Hey guys, my name is Hara Kalapchian. I'm the co-owner at Henry's House of Coffee, and today we're going to learn about the French roasts. I want to show you guys what it actually means. Is it a blend? Is it a cup of coffee? Does it even come from France? Let's find out. So the term French roast is a way of representing the color of the roasted coffee. It's not a drink, and it doesn't matter where the beans are coming from. It's just the color of the coffee beans themselves. You know, about 100 years ago, the color profiles were actually based on geography, what country or what region in the world the coffee was coming from. Here's a chart on what I'm talking about. In Northern America, the New England roast was referred to a very light roast, no traces of oil at all. In the United States, the quote-unquote American roast was slightly darker. Again, not a lot of oils on there, almost zero traces of oil, but slightly darker than the New England. A little bit darker than that, you have what's called the Viennese, medium to dark brown, possible flecks of oil on the surface. And then followed by the French, and this is what we're talking about today. So it's moderately dark brown, you have light oil on the surface. And following that is the espresso. This was a newer term coined back then. It's a dark brown. The surface can range from very oily to barely slick. And then the darkest would be the Italian. You have a dark, blackish brown, definitely oil surface. And this was a typical roast style from northern Italy. So if you're asking yourself, how the heck can you tell the difference between a French roast and Italian roast? They look the same. Well, I'd be confused too, because these terms were just used based on geography. There was no science behind it at all. Well, lucky for us, there was a guy named Carl Staub who was an electrical engineer and physicist, and he created a scientific way to measure the roast profile of coffees, and he called his company Agtron, and it's something that we use today. Here's a video of the Agtron machine in our store, and the way the Agtron works is it reflects light on a sample of coffee in order to objectively and accurately assign a number to the bean's color. Here's an example of a light roast and a dark roast that we're going to sample. We'll take a scoop. Let's go with the light roast. You see my father grabbing that, and we'll put it into a petri dish. It's a specific size that we need for the Agtron, and then we'll flatten it out to make sure that there's no light coming through the beans. And then the smaller the number, the darker the roast, and the higher the number, the lighter the roast. So in here, our quote-unquote light roast is measuring a roughly 57.8, which is considered light. And let's take a look at some examples here. We've got a Colombian coffee here on Agtron. It's roughly a 57.2. Our medium roast is a 44.6, and our dark roast is a 32.6. So the next time you see the term French roast, remember that it represents the color of the coffee and not necessarily where it came from. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for visiting. Cheers.